Hello everyone, today I would like to talk about creativity and how in extreme situation creativity becomes extreme as well. So as we know, optimism is currently back on markets. If we take the example of the US high yield, we're back at levels of the beginning of the year as if COVID never happened. The optimism can be also seen through, let's take the example of Carnival, because Carnival successfully issued a bond mid-July. But be careful, we're not talking senior classic bond, we're talking here junior bond with collateral. So what does this mean? It means that Carnival is giving guarantees to investors to be sure that they would lend money. And it's working so far because they could raise $11 billion since early April. So they raised money beginning of April and mid-July. And the comparison between the two bonds will show also how optimism is back in the market. So in July, they have issued a 6-year maturity versus 3 in April. The coupon at the yield to maturity of this issue in July is 10.5%. They had to pay almost 12% in April. And in July, the bondholders are second rank behind the ones of April, which means that if Carnival needs to sell their asset, the bondholders of April will have priority. So, isn't it strange to think that since April, actually Carnival is not making money because all of its ships can't work, and at the same time the company needs to burn $650 million every month just to maintain the fleet and the basic of the company working. So it will depend a lot about recovery, and with this $11 billion of liquidity, Carnival can make it up to next summer 2021. We see that bookings are starting for summer 2021, but in June, 40% of the bookings were made with free vouchers. Also, one thing to bear in mind is that it's a market, the cruiser market is an oligopolistic market, which means that very few names, leaders have the main market shares. For this market, it's 3 companies holding 83% of the market shares, Carnival being the biggest with 45%. They are all going through the same problems, they are all doing the same type of bonds. So if one of them goes bankrupt and need to sell the assets, who will buy those assets? And the last question to bear in mind is, what about senior bond holders? Senior bond holders actually are quite not in a very positive situation, because these new bonds rank now higher than the senior bonds. So the spread has widened in March, but these new bonds see their spread tighten, whereas the senior bonds see their spread continue to widen. So we're definitely in a very strange and creative world. Thank you.